back, folks. Today we are going to focus on chromosomes. Now, we've talked a little bit about chromosomes today. Well, not necessarily today, but we've talked about chromosomes before as being condensed forms of DNA. We're going to explore a little bit more about that, how they become so condensed, and how that works in regards to performing mitosis, meiosis, and other important aspects of cell division. A little bit about the objectives for today. By the end of the video, you should be able to understand the structure of DNA and chromosomes that are inside of the nucleus of both plant and animal cells. Some key vocabulary terms for you today. We are going to talk about chromosomes in general. We'll talk about how they're made of chromatin, chromatid, so they're all very similar terms: chromosome, chromatin, and chromatid. We'll also talk about centromeres and the differences between homologous chromosomes and sister chromatids. So as I've mentioned before, chromosomes are made of tightly coiled DNA. Now, the term for this tightly coiled DNA is known as chromatin. Now, if you take a look at the picture on the right here, we have two sets of chromosomes. The chromosomes on the left are prior to replication. You remember we talked about DNA replication in our last unit. And the chromosomes to the right are after replication. So when the DNA is replicated, each half of the chromosome is known as a chromatid. So on each part on the right-hand side, we have two sister chromatids. They're called sisters because they're genetic copies of one another. I know it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because they're called sisters, but you get the idea here. Now, those chromatids are held together by centromeres. Centromeres are proteins. They're the little green dots that you see on the image, and those hold those sister chromatids together. Now, what's going to happen to those post-replication chromosomes is they're going to be pulled apart during the process of mitosis. The whole goal here is to replicate the amount of genetic information so that when mitosis happens, each cell gets a copy of the chromosome. So these chromosomes are going to be pulled apart, and each half of it, or what you see on the left-hand side of the picture here, will be in each new cell. So keep in mind, again, chromosomes are tightly coiled DNA, which is known as chromatin, and each half of a post-replicated chromosome is a chromatid, which are genetically identical to one another. Now, when we talk about humans normally have 46 chromosomes. That is, they get 23 from mom and 23 from dad. Every cell in the body has 46 chromosomes, and the set of 46 that's in one cell is the same as the set of 46 that's in another cell. So all of your cells have the exact same genetic information. They all have 46 chromosomes that are genetically identical to the ones in the neighboring cell and the neighboring cell of that, and so on. Now, all cells have 46 chromosomes except for sperm and egg. Sperm and egg only contain 23 chromosomes. So when fertilization happens, 23 from the sperm, 23 from the egg, we end up with 46 chromosomes, enough for, well, a human. And so during the process of mitosis, when we start off as that one cell, the cell will replicate, make copies of those chromosomes so that each cell after mitosis has 46. And then the process continues and continues and continues throughout your life until you die. So each pair of chromosomes, that is the 23 pairs, one from each parent, are known as homologous chromosomes. So you have two number 1 chromosomes, one from mom and one from dad. You have two number 2 chromosomes, and this continues all the way down until the 23rd pair. 23 pairs, one half of that pair comes from mom and one half comes from dad. Now, they code for similar traits, but they're not exactly identical. Okay, because again, half come from mom, half come from dad. So they code for similar characteristics. They code for similar features. So, eye color may be on chromosome number 3. Well, eye color will be on chromosome number 3 from mom and dad. But it may code for a different trait. You may inherit a blue eye gene from mom and brown eyes from dad. So kind of keep that in the back of my mind. Homologous chromosomes are not genetically identical. Now, when we go back and look at the replicated chromosome, the sister chromatids, they are genetically identical. That is because half of that chromosome has replicated. It's made an identical copy of itself that's attached at the centromere. So you have two of them, and those are genetically identical to one another. So keep in mind that homologous chromosomes are not identical but similar, and half of a replicated chromosome called a chromatid are similar to one another. So hopefully you kind of get the basic idea of what chromosomes are and how they function inside of the human body. Chromosomes are tightly coiled DNA that are found inside of the nucleus. Humans have 46 chromosomes in each cell, then they're found in 23 pairs. One half of each pair comes from each parent. Body cells have 46 chromosomes, and sperm and egg only have 23. Each pair of chromosomes are homologous to one another, meaning that they're similar but not identical. And each half of a replicated chromosome is a sister chromatid, which is genetically identical to the other sister chromatid. As I said before, guys, hopefully you have a really good idea, a really good understanding of how chromosomes work inside of the body. We're going to discuss more of this when we start talking about mitosis and meiosis here in the next couple videos. Have a great day, guys. We will talk to you later. Bye-bye.